Hello, everyone. I'm David Neese with Electric Vehicle World. I'm here today with Sujit Kumar, who's the CEO of IonBlox. Welcome to my show today, Sujit. How are you doing?
Well, thanks for the invitation, David. I'm doing well.
This is, quite a going to be an interesting thing because I believe you have some technology that you're going to share with me that I believe I will find quite interesting. I'm really a big proponent of new technologies and what people can do that what's out there in the electric vehicle world, green energy, things like that. One of the big things I've noticed as I've done this podcast is how much I really don't know. And it's really been quite a journey to go through with different people that I've interviewed, different news articles that people send us to see what kind of tech is out there. And so, for starters, can you just give us a brief overview of what IonBlocks does?
Yes. So, David, really appreciate the opportunity to talk about iron blocks. We are a 5-year-old company, and we are in a business of developing high performance lithium ion batteries for electric vehicles and electric aviation.
Nice.
And yeah, and the way we differentiate our technology is that our high performance lithium ion cells can provide extreme fast charge, very high energy, very high power, durability at the same time at a low cost. So these are the very five critical features of our high performance lithium ion batteries.
Nice. So, what inspired Ion Blocks for you?
So I personally have been in lithium ion battery space for almost 25 years. And in my previous life, I worked on battery materials for consumer electronics. Then I worked on lithium ion batteries for medical applications like pacemakers and implantable defibrillators. So I was always lithium ion battery guy, and this new emerging space of electric vehicles and electric aviation fascinated me. I felt, oh my God, I did the right thing by joining this field 25 years ago. I used to question myself 25 years ago, am I doing the right thing? I was a loner in this field that they're not, but being in the Silicon Valley, like when I was working on lithium ion batteries, they were all working on .com.
Right.
And that's why I said I was a loner, that everybody's working on .com. There's some .com going IPO every 3 4 years, and what the heck I'm doing with lithium ion batteries. And so now it's like, oh my God, perfect decision. I'm so glad I jumped on lithium ion batteries. Now it's giving me chance to electrify in replacing internal combustion engines. So I feel very proud, and that I did not switch to some other field.
Well, you were saving lives though with batteries. I mean, obviously they're so critical in the medical space, especially when you
Yes.
have something implanted in the human body.
Yes.
That's got to work. And it is interesting though how battery technology is now at the forefront of the current green energy push. And it's interesting to see how some of that has come along. And so you started in the battery space. And so what led to coming around to what you're doing now?
Yeah. So like we saw the clean tech 1.0, which was companies like A123 going IPO, and there were lots of very promising starts, including my previous company, and they all fizzled out. Meaning that it's not that technology was not there or the product was not there. Um, Always like somehow taking your lithium ion battery technology to a scale, to set up manufacturing in the US. That's where I think clean tech 1.0 failed. But last 5 6 years, though, you see a resurgence, and you see resurgence in setting up US based manufacturing. And that's what changed me. That's what, like, previously we thought it's not possible to do it in America. You cannot manufacture batteries in America, it has to be in Asia. but now there's a strong tailwind from US Department of Energy to Tesla demonstrating successfully in running a factory in Nevada that you can manufacture in the US and you can be profitable. And then most importantly, the US public market rewarding that they are rewarding manufacturing based business model. uh,
Mhm.
you know, 10 years ago, oh my god, manufacturing is too difficult, don't even think about it, you guys will crash and burn if you try manufacturing. So that's these changes motivated me. Let's do iron blocks, not just develop technology, let's take it through a US based manufacturing and then all the way to IPO. So because now I see some success story.
No, well, and that is a challenge. That's one of the things with pretty much everything in the green space is a lot of things have seemed premature. There's that old expression, the pioneer is the one who gets all the arrows. And so often what's happened in the green space is you look at Fisker. Fisker is a good
Yes.
example of a company that they were one of the first electric cars, didn't work out, and now, they're back. And so I think one of the things is products have to work, the market has to accept it. And
Yeah.
part of it is the market has to accept that what you're doing is what's right for the marketplace. The marketplace will reward you. In a lot of cases, for instance, in battery technology, and I'm sure you're well aware of the new legislation that recycled batteries in the United States, if people recycle the lithium, that counts as US lithium for doing what you're doing so that it makes it eligible for the full EV credits, and that's a pretty big deal. And those things help. That certainly helps stimulate getting these projects going on in the U.S. But we've seen so many green projects that the market just simply wasn't ready. It's not that it wasn't a great idea, and sometimes it's just not good. Now, I saw on your website that you guys did a Series B $32 million fundraise. That's awesome. Um, so that was your second round. How big was your first round?
So first round was Series A, 16 about $16 million, and that got us technology, developed into large format pouch cells,
Mhm.
which we were able to ship it to our customers. And you will notice that customer validation is very important in raising the next round of capital. So with that funding, we were able to ship our cells to multiple electric aviation customers. And Lilium in particular, they are based in Germany. They were very impressed with our performance, and they decided to become our investor. And that validation helped attract other investors like Temasek, which is also very deeply invested in clean tech space. So they have many batteries companies. Some of them have gone IPO. Some of them are next generation company. So we're really proud to have attracted investors like Temasek. And then we also have a collaborator, Applied Materials, largest semiconductor capital equipment company in the world. So all is a very nice mix of strategic investors and financial investors.
Nice, nice. When now you were mentioning you eventually hope to do an IPO. Any ideas when you're targeting that?
So this is our plan. Right now, we are deeply engaged with a few US-based, OEM, and unfortunately, I can't give them the name yet because
I understand.
we have not closed the deal yet, and they are helping us develop a strategy for US-based manufacturing. And of course,
Nice,
Applied Materials is also helping us. One idea we have is to even co-locate our factory next to Applied Materials. I'll go that in a bit more detail, like why we are working closely with Applied Materials. So yes, we are setting up a strategy to set up a gigafactory in US, and the focus is on the high performance, especially electric aviation. So think of it that Tesla collaborated with Panasonic, build a factory in Nevada. GM collaborated with LG, set up a joint venture, setting up in Michigan. Similarly, you see, Ford and others. So the automakers have taken this problem in their own hand. But how about many other OEMs who are not automakers? They do not have access to US based manufacturing, and particularly electric aviation guys. So that's where we're engaged with several like eVTOL customers in the US. And how can we set up, when we combine their all market requirements, the cell volume requirement, it almost hits a gigawatt hour. So that's where our goal is, to set up a gigafactory, not for the US automakers. Likely we will license them our technology, that they can license our technology and manufacture on their existing line. But support these electric aviation guys who need access to a US based manufacturing. So that's where IonBlox is headed.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So, would your typical customer be a battery manufacturer, or are you making the batteries yourself? Because when I was looking at your site, I wasn't as clear. I see you're making anodes, and I don't know enough about battery tech to.
Yes. So David, battery is very simple. Like, we say plus and minus, right? Every battery has
Mhm.
a positive electrode, negative electrode. We are working on the negative electrode. And when you want to improve the battery, you have to improve both positive and negative. The negative electrode has remained constant for last 30 years. It's by default, it is graphite. Whether it's your smartphone, lithium ion in the smartphone, in your electric car, or any other application. So we are trying to replace graphite with silicon. Now, we can be a provider of silicon anode to battery manufacturers, including some of the joint ventures US automakers have created, or we can be a complete battery provider. So today we make complete batteries, like we make what we call is the large format pouch cells. I don't know if you can see it.
I can.
These are 30 amp hour, 40 amp hour, pouch cells. So we have already scaled this technology, and this is the technology you see in the Chevy Bolt. They're going all the way to 90 amp hour. Our technology can take them to 120 amp hour. So no matter what, we believe we have to demonstrate our silicon anode in a large format pouch cells. In case of electric aviation and other high performance, like for example, hypercars, supercars, we become direct provider of these lithium ion cells. But in case of US automakers, we become a silicon anode provider and provide them a license so that they can manufacture our batteries on the existing gigafactories.
Okay. So, can you share any examples of how Ion Blocks has positively impacted its clients?
Yes, and I'm very fortunate to talk about things in the public domain because it is EV world. So I'm going to start with USABC. It's a Advanced Battery Consortium, United States Advanced Battery Consortium. It's a consortium of GM, Ford, Stellantis, and US Department of Energy. So, and why we like USABC is that they select very, very few companies who are close to commercialization, and they set up the target that this is the battery performance target. And in our case, we are recipient of low cost, fast charge battery development. And it's extremely important, David. Like, fast charge is like, uh, you know, you need to bring parity with internal combustion engine. So that's why GM, Ford, Stellantis selected us to use our new chemistry, silicon anode chemistry, to develop a fast charge battery, at the same time, like keeping the cost low that they can adopt. So we received like previously 4.8 million award. We completed successfully. Recently, they gave us another 3.5 million award. So we're very proud recipient, and we are enabling US automakers with a very fast charge battery technology. So to put it in perspective, right now they mostly use 250, 260 watt hour per kilogram, which is 1 kilogram of battery can give you 260 watt hour. In our case, 1 kilogram of battery can give 350 watt hour per kilogram. So this gives you a range of 30% increase right away. Say for example, like most electric cars today, they have a range of 300 miles. So instantly they can get 390 miles range with our technology.
Excellent.
But most importantly, the fast charge. So in case of US automakers, they're interested in 10-minute charge, 15-minute charge. In 10 minute, we can charge 80% of the battery. In 5 minute, we can charge 60% of the battery. So think
Oh,
of it that this is a 390-mile range car, and you can charge 225 miles in 5 minutes. So this is game changer. And this is the technology that automakers have been waiting. Why can't you proliferate more electric vehicles from the from East Coast to West Coast to mid to Midwest? The fast charge has been the limiting factor.
correct. One of the things, range anxiety is a big issue. I've done other discussions on the fact that 20% of the time that somebody actually tries to charge a vehicle to public charger, they're unsuccessful. And it's interesting to kind of see in the consumer mind with the adoption of EVs how important the extra range is. The ability to charge quickly is a big issue, and that it's excellent that you're adopting that. Do you want to go ahead and share your screen because you had a presentation of some sort?
Yes, yes.
So
I just want to showcase, and if you can see it,
we go.
I wonder if you can see it.
Yes, yep. We see we were on the slide itself.
Yeah, yes. So I really want to highlight that in the case of CleanTech 1.0, what happened was cost, the battery cost came way down. Like back in 90s, it used to be $1,000 per kilowatt hour. Bringing 10x down was a big deal, and that's why all the EVs are very excited. But to completely proliferate, to have to replace internal combustion engine, you need multiple performance attributes. For example, like you need to bring parity with the internal combustion engine refueling time, where you need extreme fast charge. You mentioned range anxiety. So range anxiety, you need to increase the range from 300 miles, 500 miles, because you can buy ICE cars with 500-mile range, 600-mile range. For that, battery energy must go up. Next generation, you also want your cars to fly. I mean, that's something very, very exciting, that we will enter an era where your car can fly, meaning it can vertically take off and vertically land. For that, you need very high power batteries. Then at the same time, you want your batteries to last the lifetime of the vehicle, right? You don't want to be replacing battery every 4 or 5
Another
years.
reason
So you
why
need,
people are afraid of EVs. They all think that when the vehicles hit 100,000 miles, that the batteries are going to cost more to replace at that point than the car's worth. They're going to have to junk their car, and then nobody's going to want to junk their car because the batteries, people have this belief they aren't recyclable either. So it's really interesting trying to dispel some of these, issues for people.
yes, and that's why, like, we are focused on all the five factors that you need to deliver on these performance attributes, but at the same time the cost cannot be very high. And like you said, you will see many old customers who were the first adopters of electric car. They will not be happy if their battery needs to be replaced 7 8 years, and it's a big bill. I know they have to foot that bill, even if the recycling comes into the play. So what we call this cycle life and calendar life of battery is extremely important. So that's where IonBlox, our technology, shines. We address all the five performance attributes with our batteries.
So is your manufacturing process going to make batteries cheaper? Is that what you're saying here?
Yes, yes, and it comes with the economics of a scale. So, for example, like our technology, it's funny that we use sand. So when I say silicon, we use silicon monoxide. So literally, silicon oxide is sand. So we are not using anything exotic, anything very costly. For example, you might have seen in the solar side, people were trying to replace silicon with cadmium selenide, SIGs, and even though the technology was well advanced, it did not get adopted in spite of some very new, exciting chemistries. Now, of course, they're getting us another look, but same thing here. We are replacing graphite with the sand, silicon monoxide, so we feel we'll be successful. Of course, there are lots of challenges with silicon monoxide. Those are the challenges we have solved so that our platform itself is very low cost.
Excellent. Excellent. Is this the only slide you wanted to show?
Yeah, and because we're talking about EVs, right? So
Yes.
maybe because I think I already mentioned about this particular slide. So how we can charge 225 miles in 5 minutes, and I can highlight our. I mean, this is the extreme fast charge cycling. Um, yeah, before that, I just want to show a comparison of where we stand today. Like today, the highest energy cells are coming from Tesla, about 260 watt hour per kilogram. You want power, then you use moly cell where you maintain a very high power for good duration. What IonBlox has is both high energy, high power. So that's gets our customers very excited.
So
Um,
what you're showing here, so the battery for the weight is going to contain a whole lot more energy.
and whole lot power. So something, you will notice that the cells, let's say you buy a power tool from Home Depot, and if you put an energy cell, the battery will die, in a high power application. And you might notice that, like using a power drill, you put in a very heavy duty application, battery dies quickly because even though it has energy, but it cannot deliver the power you need. Same thing, if you have high performance cars, hypercars, supercars, those needs rapid acceleration, or let's say Formula One racing car, they need both high energy for the range and also high power. Most importantly, eVTOL, the vertical takeoff and landing, they need high
Do you have a
power.
slide
So
on that?
you need
Do you
a,
have a
yeah.
slide on the EV tall?
I kind of don't have the exact slide, but
Because I'd love to know how that works. Because obviously, batteries in aviation are an issue with how heavy they are versus the amount of power coming off the ground. I've been seeing, I've looked at the NASA Sabre battery tech, and
yes.
that's probably 10, while they've got it going, it's probably 10 years to bring it to market. But, I'm curious how some of this plays out.
Yeah, so like our best validation is our lead investor and customer Lilium, and they need a very high power to take off, and that's the picture you showed from our website. It was a Lilium aircraft, and that's where to put it in perspective, the program we have with USABC, we need about 700 watts per kilogram. But in case of eVTOL or aviation, we need 5 times more power to make these cars fly. So you can imagine, right? That you are driving your car on the road, but you want it to fly vertically. You need lots of power, and you need at least 5 times the power. And that's what we provided to Lilium, and I'm just using their statement as opposed to providing their mission profile, which is proprietary, Lilium's proprietary. I'm just using their statement They went through hundreds of companies and they tested hundreds of technology before finding that IonBlox has the combination of high energy and high power.
That's a very nice endorsement right there. I'm looking at that picture, and I'm assuming that for it to be a vertical takeoff, that the wings must change angle so the jets can lift it off and then they fold back into place.
Yes, exactly. What they call is like, ducted thrust fans. And I'm not the expert, but you can see nice videos from Lilium on the YouTube, like how it is kind of, vertically taking off and then transitioning too. So transitioning is really cool, how it is flipping by 90 degrees. And now you can, after vertically lifting, you can move straight forward. So these are some very cool technology being developed. Most importantly, they were all limited by energy storage technology. So in the past, off the shelf lithium ion batteries could not support these new exciting ideas. And we're very proud that, we can support these innovators and entrepreneurs who are, building this next generation aviation technology.
Let's see here. I was trying to share something with Lilium, but their website is so intense, it actually stopped my video from sharing.
You,
Yeah, they had a video that was showing it taking off on their website, but I have too many graphical applications running at the same time, and it taxed my computer to the point where it couldn't actually show it.
yeah, but David, if you get chance to edit, like, you might be able to insert a couple of flights from
Yes,
them.
very nice, very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. And I would say not just Lilium, in the US, we have some very exciting companies like Beta, like Archer, like Whisk.
Mhm.
Whisk is a Boeing company. So now you see, that, you know, greatest of the greatest American icons like Boeing are very serious about this. It is right in their, kind of home ground, right? So aviation is going to be very different. And before you have these massive Boeing planes electrified, you will have small planes.
S-
And that can cover small routes like 200 miles long route, where you can have 7-seater, 20-seater planes, fully electric.
Sujit,
And
so what do you think was the most significant challenge you've had to overcome with the ion blocks to this point?
oh, it's the technology. First was like, this silicon anode, like I said, I was working on it 25 years ago. It was always known that this particular chemistry is very superior, but it has the problem of like durability. That it works very nicely for first few cycles, and then the battery kind of falls apart, meaning that when you charge lithium, when you charge this battery, lithium intercalates into silicon, and then silicon expands. And when you discharge, then again lithium goes to the positive electrode, and then silicon shrinks. And when you repeat this cycle many times, it just battery falls apart because of expansion and contraction. So even though the promise of silicon was there, but the durability was the question mark. And like I said, the US automakers will not adopt a technology unless you demonstrate 1000 cycles. And even the smartphones we're using today, you need 1000 cycles. Think of it, right? You charge discharge every day your phone, right? You last your phone, you replace batteries, at least 2 3 years. So you will need 1000 cycles. So even to like have a design win with leading smartphone players, you need to show at least 1000 cycles. So that's the biggest problem we solved in bringing silicon anode to the prime time. And now the case is that, hey, how do we build a business out of it? Now we have solved a very big technology problem. How do we take it to manufacturing? How do we bring it to mass adoption?
So, what can we expect to see from IonBlox in the next couple of years?
So you will see more customer announcements. So obviously, we have announced these partners like Lilium and Applied Materials. They are in public domain. You will see more customer announcements who are qualifying our technology. In parallel, we are setting up a pilot line in US. We do have a capability to make about 5 megawatt hour today, but we want to expand that to 100 megawatt hour quickly. You will see that in 2 years. By late 2025, we will have a US based 100 megawatt hour facility. And one thing I want to highlight to audiences that qualifying any new technology, be it aviation, is even tougher. But even for automobile application, it's very tough. It takes long time. You have to go through sample A, sample B, sample C. That's what you will see from our US based pilot line, that will start sample B and sample C. We're already shipping sample A to our US automakers, and then they want it to be from a kind of at least ISO 9001 type of manufacturing line. They will not take from any small pilot line. So those are the challenges of a startup.
Where
That
where are you guys doing your manufacturing now? What state?
Oh, we are actively looking right now. So, we had a very nice discussion with the state of Michigan. We are talking to a few other states. We will make that decision in next 6 to 7 months,
Nice.
which state we locate our factory. But we are based in Fremont, California, and that's where our corporate headquarters is. That's where our R&D is. So we will have a small pilot line in Fremont and a 100 megawatt hour line somewhere in the US that we are still scoping and exploring.
So, what have I not asked about today that I should have? There anything?
I think it was a very good interactive exchange, but I, yeah, did want to highlight to the audience the challenges and also collaboration. I think um, um, you need collaboration across the supply chain to make any new technology work. Of course, the number one is the customer push, that a customer has to say that we like this technology, it's meeting our goal. Then after that, we really see collaborating with like even with the fellow battery manufacturers. So we could set up manufacturing in partnership with another mature battery manufacturers. We are looking to collaborate with cathode makers, anode makers, separator makers, electrolyte makers. How do we be a strong participant of a US based ecosystem? So that's something I want to highlight, is that it takes a village.
It does.
It takes a village, yes.
Yes. All right. Suji, I want to thank you for being on my show today. I'm going to go ahead and end this